are you?
Not too bad.
How was the interview?
Well, interview went well, you know. As a matter of fact, I got the job.
That's nice. Congratulations.
Right, and I know my little soldier is also happy too, not true?
Yes, he's very proud of you.
Yeah, man. All right. But I guess there's a little catch.
What's
So,
that?
even though the campus is located here in Jamaica, they just set up a new campus in Aruba. And the director said that, the job is not for Jamaica, it's actually for Aruba. And they're willing to fly me down there free of cost and duty free everything. And to make it even much better, they offer me a senior post just to keep me there. So it's a lucrative job.
Yes, but we still have one issue. Remember that my job is here in the Netherlands.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, and the salary here is very good.
Yeah, but you wanna, me not live in a white man country and a freezer box. I want to stay Jamaica, stay Aruba, Caribbean, so I can get my white room.
There are other benefits, even though you have that you don't really like, but there are other benefits.
You know what? Since we have a conflict, let us talk to Pastor Davis.
Yes, we could get some advice and before we make the decision.
Yeah. And I also heard that his wife is an educational consultant.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. So they would be able to give us some good guidance.
Yeah. Anyway, say hi to my little soldier for me, and we'll meet with Pastor Davis. All right.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. That's Mr. and Mrs. Stephens, Felicia and Albert. How are you guys doing?
I'm not bad. How are you?
I'm not bad.
All right.
Pastor.
Very rosy, Felicia.
How is it in
Thank
Netherlands,
you.
Mr. Stevens? Is it good there? How's the weather there?
It's kind of cold, but getting through it.
All right, great. All right, so Tristan and I got a message from our secretary about some challenges you guys are having.
Yes.
But I must appreciate the fact that you guys took the time to seek out some godly and medical advice. And Tristan and I will be more than happy to provide you with the information and the guidance that you guys need to make that decision. All right. So
Definitely.
We're here to help.
so let's see if I'm on the same page as you guys. So Felicity, you're in the Netherlands. We all know that. And Albert is planning to move to Aruba for a job. That's right.
Yes, boss.
But there's some kind of confusion as to where to actually put down roots and enroll your son.
Yeah.
Okay. Well. Let's see how this plays out. As experts, Tristan and I will do our very best to provide some level of guidance, right? But of course, the final decision has to be made by you guys, right?
Definitely.
Yeah,
So, yeah, and Felicia, can you just tell me on your point of view? Because remember, it's the decision is between you and your husband. So I just want to know, why is it that he should move there to raise a child there, rather than?
All right, great. But before you actually do that, Tristan, I think it would be a good idea for us to show them the information that we got about each location. So Tristan and I, we sent some investigators to get some background information on Aruba and the Netherlands, so you guys have a little better understanding of where each person is living and try to get some develop some appreciation for each location. All right. So we're gonna share that with you right now. along similar lines as the system in the Netherlands provides for education at all levels. The government finances the national education system almost entirely, except for schools, which finance their activities. Linked to its heritage, Aruba's education system is administered by Aruba Ministry of Education and requires high standards maintained by educational institutions in the Netherlands. According to the globaleconomy.net, in 2015, approximately 23% of the island's budget was designated to fund education, a designation that purportedly resulted in Aruba having one of the highest levels of education in the Caribbean. The literacy rate in 2018 was 97.81%, according to macrotrends.net. Kudos to Aruba.
So Felicia, remember, the decision is between you and Mr. Stevens, right? So I just want to know, why is it that you want him to move to the Netherlands rather than you moving to Aruba?
Well, one of the biggest factors that affects our decision is where it is that we would send our son to school, right? So for me, I really love the education system here. Children are not mandated to go to school here until the age of 4. Between 0 and 3, they can go to school. What we call here, children are not mandated to go to school here until the age of 4, but they are allowed to go to toddler playroom between the ages of 0 to 3, right? Now, at the age of 4, they would go to basic school, which goes from age 4 to age 12.
Wow.
Now, basic school here is actually divided into different levels. So at each level, the work that you do gets more advanced. But an amazing thing here is that when they get to level 7, they do an exam that is a cycling exam, because we're very big on environment here, so we don't have a school bus system. What you find is that most persons cycle back and forth between the places that they need to go. So we have clean air, yes. Right? So they do a cycling exam at that stage, and they actually get something that is called a cycling diploma, so that encourages them to actually continue doing that.
I think our little soldier will love that.
Yes.
All right.
I agree.
So you're agreeing with her on that point, Mr. Stevens? Are you sold?
Kind of. Well, I mean, the cycling diploma is kind of new to me, and I know my little soldier loves bicycle, so it's pretty cool to have a system where he actually rewarded, for doing that. All right, so in Aruba, because I did some research myself also.
Great.
And the structure of basic education in Aruba is very simple. You have preschool education with children aged 4 to 6, and you have primary school education with students with age 6 to 12. So it's pretty much similar to, like, say, the Jamaican system. We have basic school and you have primary school.
Okay.
All right. So it's pretty much similar. And one thing I love about Aruba, listen to this, is that they have a primary school dedicated to special needs children, persons with mild to severe learning and physical disabilities.
Yeah.
So you have an entire school dedicated for that.
And that is pretty impressive as well.
Yeah. So even though our child is not particularly a disabled child, it's pretty cool.
Okay, so Mr. Stevens, just to, I don't want to be biased, but a good argument that you can put forward is the fact that the weather is perfect in Aruba. compared to the Netherlands. Isn't that right, Mrs. Stevens?
Boy, Pastor. What time at church? What time at church service? Real, listen,
9
listen,
o'clock
man.
every Sunday morning, sir.
The weather in Netherlands is crazy.
Mr. Davis.
It's crazy. All right. So
You can bundle up and stay warm.
Okay. Well, that's a good point. That's a very
All
good
right.
point. So, Kristen.
I'm silent on that one.
Well, Tristan and I also did our research, and based on what you guys are seeing, or research kind of concurs with the two arguments. Basically, as you guys are aware, Aruba is basically a colony, or was a colony of the Netherlands. So essentially, they have the same language basically, and similar histories. So naturally, I'm realizing that the education system
Would have some similarities.
right. So Aruba basically
Right.
modeled their education system from the Netherlands. So really and truly, there isn't much difference as it relates to education, the levels of education, the incorporation of vocational skills and all of that stuff. There's some consistency there. So honestly, the level of education in both countries are equally impressive. That's what I think. So
Well,
right, Tristan, what do you
even
think about
though-
the differences though?
And Pastor wife,
yes.
you know, I did some research on Aruba. Now
Okay,
listen carefully. The literacy rate,
definitely.
It's
in
9.
Aruba
It's very high. It's very
is
high.
97%.
Yes. And that is very
That's
impressive.
surplus.
Very impressive.
Mrs. Stevens, I think your husband is winning.
But if you
Well-
look on the differences though, then you can actually see that the weighting is actually different, because then there are certain things that you have to look on. For instance, all right, Felicia already said that in Netherlands the mandated age
Mhm.
for schooling is actually 4,
Okay.
but in Aruba it is actually 6.
Oh.
So it's actually right. So the child is it's a mandatory to actually start schooling at age 6 in Aruba. So compulsory education actually begins at age 4 and it stops at age 16 for the Netherlands. And that is actually according to Netflix. All right. And also what you have to look at is the type of secondary schools.
Okay, that's a good point.
Right. So in Aruba, there's actually 4 types of secondary schools.
Mhm.
You have the vocational secondary education, the general, the higher general secondary education, and the pre-university education.
Oh, okay.
While in Netherlands, you actually have 3 types of secondary education. You have the preparatory vocational secondary education, the senior general secondary education, and the university preparatory education.
All right, so
And what I find amazing is actually that in Aruba, the children are actually taught a wide variety of language.
oh, that's true. Spanish.
Yeah, because they're taught Dutch, which is their main language,
Right.
and they're introduced to English and Spanish.
Right.
And they're also, when they get higher in the school system, they're introduced to even French and German.
Whoa, that's good.
And it's mandatory for them to learn Papiamento, which is actually a mixture of Spanish, Dutch, Portuguese, English, French, African, and Arawak Indian.
Whoa, okay, that's diverse.
Oh,
Very good, very diverse. And in Netherlands, they're only mandated to learn 2 languages, which is Dutch and English.
Whoa, so despite the similarities, there are some definite differences
There
there.
are some definite differences.
All right, so Mr. and Mrs. Stevens, you have a big decision to make. So
Yeah,
it's
and
a lot of
also
information,
to
right?
even add more to their plate, in the variety of universities in Aruba that is subsidized by the government is actually 2 institutions that are universities that are subsidized by the government. And in Netherlands, you have over 36 institutions that are subsidized
Wow.
subsidized by the government.
Big difference there.
And also the cost of education is totally different.
Whoa, okay.
So in Aruba, pre-primary and primary education are free.
Okay.
But in Netherlands, the government, they fund the primary, the secondary, the vocational, and the university levels.
Hold on, you mean?
Stevens, you're winning there.
Hold on. Say that again. They fund university?
Yes.
Yes, they do. So basically,
Hold on,
you can
hold
say
on,
in
hold on,
Netherlands,
hold on, hold on.
education is free.
That warrants a drink, right?
And
Yeah, it's
you
apple-
know what
it's app-
is
it's not rum, it's
amazing?
apple juice.
Even Mr. Stevens, what is even amazing is that ICT, you know that ICT is big in schools, right?
Yeah.
In Aruba, there are only 34 schools in total that have computer labs. All right. But in Netherlands, which is according this information I got from the World Factbook, right?
Okay.
But in the Netherlands, you have to every 5 students you have a computer, and these computers are actually in the classroom.
Oh.
Whoa, that's really interesting. All right.
Very.
So based on all the information that we provided you with, you guys have a big decision to make. You have to weigh the pros and the cons and see what works for the family in the long term. All right. So of course, Tristan and I are here for moral support. We're here for guidance, and there's no pressure. You don't have to make a final decision tonight, but that's something you have to sit
Sleep
down
on.
together.
It's something to sleep on.
All right. So both countries have wonderful benefits, but it's up to you guys. The decision is up to you. All right. So I hope
Very
we
much for
offer some level
assisting
of
us.
assistance and of course reach out to us anytime. We're always available. And whatever happens, though, we know that great things are in store for you guys, right?
Thank
Yes.
you very much for
Yes,
taking the
Pastor.
time
All the
out to
best.
assist
We-
us.
We will definitely rest on these information, and
Definitely.
we'll pray about it. All right.
Yes, definitely.
And we'll
Prayer
pray
is
for
key.
you as well.
Yes,
We'll be
come on.
praying.
All right.
All right, so
All right.
guys, all the best.
All right.
All right, thank you, Tristan.
All right.